What's up? What's up? Fuck yeah. Earl Skakel in the house. Kip Smith with the moderating duties. By the way, Kip, there is another person that has been added to the all caps. How would you say it? He is allowed to type in all caps, and that is High Protege, for doing some artwork for me on the DL. So High Protege is now allowed to type in all caps at his leisure. Of course, yes, it's an exclusive list of two. High Protege and the legend of Peter Chicken Man Brennan. So, other than that, it's business as usual. Yes, it's an elite privilege to be allowed to type in all caps in the Earlverse. It's an honor that's not taken lightly by the Chicken Man or High Protege. Williamson, we're just going over, as you would say, the all caps whitelist exclusive club here. High Protege is now in the elite group of two, where you can type in all caps. He made some artwork for me. And I realized that I don't pay anyone. Have you ever done comedy traffic school? And do they still exist? Yeah, well, you know, obviously the moderators can type in all caps at their discretion. But other than that, you did not miss anything, AC/DC. We're just doing some clerical work. I do not have my dishes in the dryer. What you hear is the construction workers outside my unit doing some maintenance on the building. They are wrapping up because they are not allowed to work past 5 o'clock. So, who knows? I mean, my building is, I think it's like 50-60% wood, so probably termites or something. I never look at the homeowner letters. You know, when I needed my HOA and management company's help, they gave me nothing. So in return, I give them nothing. I'll give you a look. See what's going on. Here, what? I mean, it's out of control here. Like, you know. I've never had termites, but they check, I think, every year. So, you know, I mean, this building was built in '74, so it's probably going to happen with more frequency. You know, it's the only good thing about Lois's hearing not being what it used to be. What up, Kathy? That she can't hear the noise really, so it's all good. But hopefully, before the real shit goes down, I will be long gone in this building. So, but I've even thought of renting, selling and renting for a minute, for a year, then get back into a home that I actually like. It's just this neighborhood fucking sucks. Um, what up, Casey? You can spell my name in all caps. I'll allow that. And of course, all Jeff Ross insults can be done in all caps. You can even do a Jeff, instead of the N word tower, we can do a Jeff Ross tower. I will allow that as well. I'm not moving anytime soon. I just, uh, there's, um, many things I could do. I could probably get $4,000 to 4,500 for this a unit a month. But my fear is, I would do that, buy another place, or even rent, and then the tenant moves, and then I'm stuck with two mortgages or two monthly payments. That could get sticky. But I'm a worst case scenario type of guy, so there's many ways to do it. Um, oh, I know. I mean, like, you got to give it to Jeff. The guy's a fucking survivor. He literally fails upward. He didn't do well in the Tom Brady roast, so he gets the Netflix, gets to go and kill Tony. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, I fail down. I mean, I don't really fail, but like, I mean, I almost weirdly admire Jeff. The guy's been a working comic for 30 years and gets worse by the year and works more. Uh, well, it's harder than you think because there are or some rapper Newports. I listen, money's money to me. I don't care what color the person is with the money, as long as the money is green. The problem with possibly renting in this neighborhood is the neighborhood is so fucking gay that's gonna turn off some people. It's just the reality of life. But we'll see. I mean, luckily for me, the unit's in really good shape. I mean, the hardwood floors are a little dirty, but that's easily, I could just bring in someone to clean those. So we'll see what's happening. But I learned that the last year I've been looking for to get out of this area, and I haven't found anything better than what I have. So um, well, I mean, Attell carried bumping mics, and a lot of people think because I don't like Jeff, I'm not. I'm just going to say he sucks just because I don't like him. But listen, I you can go watch Roast Battle on Comedy Central or what is it? Paramount Plus. Go on season 1, and I think I'm in 5 of the 6 episodes, so obviously Jeff is too, and pick one episode where Jeff was funnier than me. So I'm not telling you, oh, go to episode 2 and I killed and Jeff didn't. Go to episode 5, go to episode 1, go to episode 3. Pick one episode, and whether you like me or not, whether you love Jeff or not, you won't find, if you're being honest, you won't find one episode where he was better than me. And yet he's been on TV 5 times as much as me since that show. So, Earl, you shave? Yeah, I shave not quite every day. Like I shaved last night, so it's still relatively clean. Have you sent your condolences to Jeff Ross? About what? Bombing on Netflix? No. I mean, if I sent condolences to Jeff about bombing, I'd be sending him condolences every day. Oh, thank you, Kathy. I mean, for 56, I don't look bad. I mean, I got a nice hairline for 56. Is this my hairline when I was 20? No, but, what are you going to do? I'm not Henrik Lundqvist. I take care of myself. Really only for the purpose of if I ever run into an ex-girlfriend, I want them to see, man, I fucked up. I find motivation in the weirdest of ways. Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm never going to watch the show, so, but, he bombed every episode of Roast Battle. I can arguably say that he was the least funny part of Roast Battle. If you're being honest. Now, of course, the people, the open mic writing staff he employs probably tells him, oh, man, that's so funny, Jeff, you killed it. He didn't. Not on one episode. If you rent the place out, you could start the gas station quicker. 100% on that, William Zoom. I really believe one day if I'm ever successful in stand-up and I got like some money to invest, I swear to God I'm going to invest in a bar, but it's going to be the right bar in the right area. I mean, they say almost 200 restaurants and bars have closed down in LA this year alone. We're 4 months into this year. I want your eyes, pig. Wow, we don't do, we have our first troll, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I just don't understand that. Like, does that guy think he's being funny? Earl Skakel, Nikki 6 is 66. No, his hairline is not real. I never saw them in person, but I grew up watching them, on Wide World of Sports. And one of my favorite episodes of The White Shadow is when Coach Reeves bring them in to play the Carver High basketball team. Well, that's the funny thing. The Roastmaster General, he turned down battling me. And then that battle he had with Blake Griffin was fucking fake. And he was losing. I mean, you're the Roastmaster General, and you're losing to Blake Griffin, an NBA player who's never done Roast Battle and very new into comedy. You don't think the markets are killing me? I mean, I think some of Slash's hair is fake. Yeah, I mean, the market did pretty well today, but you have a feeling until the tariff stuff is straightened out, it's going to be up one day, down the next. So, I want his life. By the way, for those of you wondering what the hell me and Bumbleclot are talking about, anytime Bumbleclot comes into the stream, we just quote lines from the Mexican Star Wars prison movie, Blood In, Blood Out. Ooh, Allah is blushing. I'm going to try and get the tape of me roasting Popeye as Big Al. It's out there somewhere. We don't do the hello 4 times in here. Kip, Zoom, you know what to do. Get him. But I don't understand why people do that. Like it's not even funny. Um, oh, thank you, Ross. I don't know what happened. I believe I went on the Citizen app, and I believe it was standard domestic violence. What's the guy with the mustaches line, Bumbleclot? What is like? If it's me you're looking for. It's funny. I was watching the Supertramp video for "It's Raining Again." So you're the fool that dusted Spider, huh? That guy with the mustache from Blood In, Blood Out was an extra in the Supertramp video, "It's Raining Again." Only I would know that. By the way, I love that song, "It's Raining Again." But what does he say? So you're the fool that dusted Spider, eh? He says, if it's something you want, then I'm the man you're looking for. I'm a little off right now, so. And then we'll have TVs playing Blood In, Blood Out on loop. People will be like, what the fuck? I'm telling you, man, a gay bar, I would love. Money is money, honey. Whether I'm renting out my place to Newports or, piazzas. See, I'll use some Dabbleverse terms. That was one of my, I would say SWAT was probably the first TV show All in the Family was the first show I really like. Oh my God, All in the Family's on. But SWAT was the second one. And it wasn't on. I think it was only on for 2 seasons. But a very impactful, hey, listen, if their money's green, I don't care what color the renters are. No, Danny Trejo is not the guy with the mustache and Blood In, Blood Out. He was in Blood In, Blood Out. But what was this? Hold on. This is where my ADD kicks in. I'm going to look up. I think his real name is Victor, but I forget his name. And Blood In, Blood Out. Let's see. Magic Mike. So let's shout out to the cast. So we got Damian Chapa as Miklo, Benjamin Bratt as Paco, Jesse Borrego as Cruz, Victor Rivera as Magic Mike, Billy Bob Thornton as the white supremacist, Enrico Castillo as Montana, Raymond Cruz as Chewy, Danny Trejo as Geronimo, and the great Carlos Carrasco as Popeye. I was honored to be at his roast as Big Al. Delroy Lindo as Bonafide. And of course, Lanny Flaherty as Big Al. Theodore Wilson as Wallace. What a great cast. All these guys work. When you look at this cast, like they're all character actors that, Richard Mazer, Steve Easton. Just like a who's who of working actors over the last 40 years. And I've become kind of weird friends with Popeye. He's a great guy. And the roast was awesome. I've never been so... George Perez, I must give a shout out to George Perez. He got me on the roast of Popeye. And he killed. But it was kind of in a sketchy part of town, like East LA. And it's definitely an area where you don't want to be around after 8 p.m. like somewhere around the crypto.com arena, but not in a good area. Um, and then I think I was the only white guy in the room. There's probably 200 to 300 Mexican hardcore gangbangers. I mean, these guys, I'm sure there were some weapons in this room. And, for whatever reason, I didn't prepare any material. I just improv'd the whole roast. And usually that's not good when you improv a roast. You get nervous, and I killed. I rarely kill. I do well, but I was in the zone, and I knew when the first joke hit, um, it was going to be, and I started getting cocky. You know, I s- I mean, I'm literally the only white guy in the room, and I'm just going, hey, it's great to be here in Tijuana with all you filthy Mexicans, and like they loved it. And I was just hoping my car would be out there when I left. So, no, I don't like doing shows where I have to, like, I don't want to have to fight to be funny. Like, that room was different because, a roast, you can kind of get away with being a little more aggressive. But I'm done fighting crowds. I'm done doing bar shows. I'm spoiled by the Comedy Store because even though I have the toughest spot on the lineup, going on last, they're still there for comedy. Like if you're funny, they will stay. But like bar shows, no more. Um, yeah, yeah, the gangbang. Well, it's just funny because it's like the lady literally got pregnant from the one guy who didn't do the gangbang. Hello. I mean, I think that's the one good thing about Kill Tony is I think it's bringing back inappropriate comedy and bullying comedy. Roast Battle did the same thing, not to the degree that Kill Tony is doing it, but I think inappropriate comedy is back. I think she is pregnant. That's the word on the street. Uh, oh, it was a lie. Oh, okay. I mean, I don't keep up with a girl who fucked 1,057 guys in 12 hours. I mean, 12, that's amazing, man. I mean, you just, I watched that documentary. It was so sad, man. I was at a Christmas party watching it, and everyone's in a good mood, everyone's on drugs, and the minute this documentary came on, like everyone sobered up. Uh, well, I mean, yeah, I didn't watch it. I'll never watch it. I just have no interest in it. I've done like 5 or 6 Kill Tonys. I don't need to see the TV version. Um, I mean, I haven't heard too many people talking about it, but I'm also not like listening. Um, but well, I just I'm a long-term thinker, so when I look at this girl, I think, what's her life going to be like in 10 years? I mean, this was her 15 minutes of fame. Um, so I mean, it's pretty sad. Like, I'm a comic. I look for the joke in everything. I do jokes about my parents dying 2 months apart. I do jokes about dogs dying, which, if you know me, I've cried more at my last few dogs I've had to put down than I did at either one of my parents' funerals. But so I see humor in everything. But man, it's pretty sad. Um, what up, Shandy girl? Every time I find the words to end it, something in your eyes won't end it. Shandy, tonight must last us forever. Ooh. Isn't that funny? Peter Criss was in the video for Shandy, but not on the album. Ho! So yeah, 100% William Zoom. But like, where do you go from here? Like, if you're her, like, okay, no one, in a month or two, or maybe even now, no one's going to care about what this girl did. So now she's fucked. Doing OnlyFans, I guess. But why would you want an OnlyFans of a girl's who you've already seen naked, fucking 1,100 guys or whatever. No, Anton Fig was on drums for Kiss on both Dynasty and Unmasked. And I don't have a great music ear, but even to my ear, even as a kid, has what Dynasty came out when I was 11, Unmasked when I was 12. I remember going, that doesn't sound like Peter Criss on drums. Um, and I was right. Just like Psycho Circus, as an adult, obviously, I was like, that doesn't sound like Peter Criss on drums, and it wasn't. It was Kevin Valentine. So, oh, okay. I mean, I don't know how many I don't know how many dudes my one ex. We don't have to mention her name, but you can. The girl I dated from Roast Battle, her numbers are pretty staggering for a girl her age. Um, oh no, you can talk about Kill Tony. I don't have anything against the show. I mean, I'm not going to watch it, but I don't. This is your guys' stream. Um, uh, I mean, I know a lot of people involved on the show. I just I don't find very many people on the show funny, and I don't. Um, it's like I also don't like that the panel. Tony and all his friends and the celebrity guests or whatever. They beat up on these open micers. I just don't find that you know challenging. That's the one thing I liked on Roast Battle was, yeah, I could talk shit to Jimmy Carr, but he was going to give it back to me. K. Trevor Wilson, Tom Ballard, Sarah Tiana, Jesse Joyce. That's a challenge, not beating up on some sad sack open micers. Uh, Ron White's funny. By the way, high five protege in the house. I've been alerted all the moderators that you are allowed all caps privileges in here at your leisure, of course. Um, I like Ron White. His character isn't a character; it's him. I remember one time being on an improv show with him, and he literally pulled up his Rolls Royce, parked it on the sidewalk. I mean, literally half the car was on the sidewalk. He goes in to do his set, comes out, he's got a ticket, puts the ticket in the passenger seat, and just took off. Um, 100% Zoom. And I'll do the first show in New York. You never know who might be in the audience. Uh, so, by the way, here is the Chandler doll, courtesy of, well, I don't, he likes to remain anonymous. SCVID show. We'll just leave it at that. Shout out to the Seattle Kraken for giving me swag the other night at the King game. Well, I mean, Peter Chicken Man Brennan. Wow, we have the two all caps perpetrators in the stream at the same time. Can't wait for Dante the Comic's latest movie to get bought by Netflix or at least Hulu. Shit, you'd be waiting a long time, Holmes. Yeah, I mean, Ron White just doesn't care. Um, has the King? Oh my God, the Kings have given me a lot. They gave me that. Um, let's see if you can see it here. That game used Arthur's Kaliev stick. Um, they have given me a Boko Imama game-worn jersey from the Ontario Reign. Now, if you know anything about minor league hockey, those jerseys get auctioned off at the end of the season, and Boko Imama was probably the most popular guy on the team because he was the tough guy. And then last year they gave me Brad Doty's game-worn jersey, another tough guy. They've given me Martin Ferk's gloves, Pierre-Luc Dubois' helmet. So the Kings. I got a bunch of the Seattle Kraken into the Comedy Store the other night. So, you know, the hockey world, they love the Comedy Store. That was literally, they had one night off before they played the Kings. And it's kind of cool, like the equipment staff. You know, if you're on I got that helmet for free. The equipment staff of hockey teams, it's a brutal lifestyle. I mean, you're basically at the rink for 15 to 20 hours. You got to set up the gear for practice, pregame skate, and then the players go home and nap or whatever, and you got to like tape the sticks, customize the gloves or whatever they need. And then you got to obviously tear down after the game for probably at least an hour or two, and you get maybe 6 hours of sleep. Then you got to come back, and if they're on, if you got back-to-back games, you got to get to the rink and set up for the next game and whatnot. So the equipment staffs of all the teams are really friendly with each other. I don't think they view each other as maybe like the players would. Like, I don't think the night before you're going to see a King player and a Kraken player palling around. But the equipment staff, there's a bond between all those guys. So I mean, it depends on the player. I mean, like the elite players, like an Ovechkin, I think he switches gloves every period. I'm not sure what Ovechkin does with sticks, but he probably has 10 sticks ready for each game. Question for Earl, if I may. Speaking of hockey fans, have you ever done the hat trick? I never have done the hat trick at the Comedy Store. I've done a lot there. I've done 2 shows. I've done the original room and the main room. But I rarely get belly room spots because those are usually for outside producers, roast battle type shows and whatnot. And show her the horse picks, Earl. Show who? Oh, I'm not. Well, no, right now I'm listening to. Don't spoil it for me. I like the way they teased Okada and Omega. Yeah, I've been saying that for 2 years because no one from America has seen their Japan matches. So you could you could be a little lazy and just repeat the storyline from New Japan. And Omega and Okada, 5-star match. The hat trick is when you play the main room, the original room, and the belly room all in the same night. So I've never done that. I've been passed at the Comedy Store since 2014. So, it's not like a tremendous goal of mine, but, be cool to say I did it. Have you ever had to cut your own grass? No, I mean, since 1988, I've lived in apartments and condos, so they're all covered under, HOA things. Now, from when I lived in Bel Air from 68 to 88, I did not do the manual labor around the Bel Air house. We had a bunch of illegal people doing that. I mean, it was a different era back then. It was a different era. So no, I have not done that. Yes, or now the quad trick. That's the real key, is getting all 4. I believe we had all 4 mods in the stream at the same time one night. It's a rarity. But even if I did the hat trick, it wouldn't be that special to me because a lot of people have done it. So it's like when we were in the initial talks of doing a special, I thought, well, let's do it at the Comedy Store. I mean, the Comedy Store is my home club, but there's been like 20 to 30 specials done there, so it wouldn't look special to me. So, I hope to do the special this year. And, no really new news on that. But I'm really trying to get the YouTube channel I'm going to overload it with shorts and videos and, I'm going to crack the algorithm as best I can and, see what happens, Hey, hit the like and subscribe button, pretty babies, if you have not done so already. It helps me. Jedi mind tricks. What's up, blood? What up? What's up, blood? What are we on the set of Colors? Um, Protein cookie reviews. Yeah, I mean, you just gotta put out. You just gotta steamroll with content. And Peter Chicken Man Brennan, who was the Comedy Store's Stone Cold during their Monday Night Wars with other clubs in LA? Yeah, definitely Rogan. And now I would say it's Burr. I mean, Burr is really the only one you could put up there with Rogan in terms of power. Um, so I'm from California. Pac Man, yes. I've tried to get Glenn Plummer on the podcast, but he never really gets back to me. He played a high top in Colors, was in Sons of Anarchy, and of course, Showgirls. Yeah, I don't have to ask people for money. Thank you, Allison. Loves horses. I think he's at a place in his life where he wants to talk about what he talks about, and he doesn't really care if you like it or not. The store is now WWE, and don't think they're losing 83 straight weeks anytime soon. I have not seen Clockers. Fahim Anwar's hat trick. Yeah, I mean, I would love to do that, but Fahim beat me to it. So, yeah, I love Colors. Um, oh my God, Ethan, this isn't open mic hour at the Comedy Store. Yeah, I mean, I don't see any club beating the Comedy Store anytime soon. Not the Improv, certainly, and not the Laugh Factory. I mean, the Ice House, it's kind of a different area, so I don't know if you'd really consider them competition. Same thing with Hermosa Magic Club. I mean, everyone's still, if you were to poll comics who aren't passed at any of the clubs, where do you want to get past that? I would almost say 100% would say the Comedy Store still. So, I know there are some interesting gangbangers. Gerardo, Larry Sylvester, the black guy who was the leader of Gerardo's gang. I asked him to be on my podcast. He's also the one of the helicopter pilots in Die Hard when Robert Davi's like, "Yeehaw! It's just like Saigon, huh, Slick?" I was in junior high, dickhead. He wouldn't come on my podcast. It's like, what? How many people are asking to interview you? Um, he was also in the James Bond I like with Timothy Dalton. Um, and he was, Grand Bush is his name. And he was also in Vice Squad with Wings House, where he had a very small role as a pimp. Um, so, yes, Robert Davi, one of the greats. I liked him he's one of my favorite Bond bad guys, Sanchez. Um, and that girl who was in, who was the main girl in The Living Daylights? With the short hair. She was like Bond's helper with the short hair. Not the Hispanic girl, but the white girl. Man, she was so hot in that. Um, I think she was in Law and Order later, but shout out to those Bond girls. They were hot back in the day. But I kind of checked out after. Yes, Carrie Lowell, man, she is beautiful. Yeah, you can't do a new Goonies movie. I mean, I'm sure they'll do it, but you can ask anything you want, Allison, as long as it's not racist. We are an open forum in the Earl world. We talk hockey, wrestling, ex-girlfriends, ex-boyfriends. What the fuck? Um, we're a friendly stream. We'll do about another 20 minutes just so I can watch Kenny Omega's promo. And yeah, I mean, she was so pretty in that James Bond movie. Just like Wow. And she kind of looks pretty good. I saw a recent picture of her. Like she hasn't aged that bad. I mean, I age. Marissa Hardigay. Yeah, I mean, she's. I think her mom used to be my neighbor in Bel Air. What was her mom's name? She's like one of those bombshells from the '60s. She lived a couple of houses down from me. And she was also Marissa Hardigay was, I believe, it might have been her first acting gig, was in the great '80s movie The Perfect Weapon with Jeff Speakman. Yes, Jane Mansfield lived right below the Elvis house, so she's probably about 3 or 4 houses down from me. Um, Another neighbor I don't really talk about a lot. Jimmy Durante also lived by us. I was just watching. See, Allison, didn't you have a question, or did you bail out on the question? It's fine. I was just watching an old A Team with Wings Hauser and the great Marshall T, who was on Inappropriate Earl. He was Jimmy in Roadhouse. What is your question, Allison, or do you not want to ask it anymore? No pressure. Yes. We're a friendly stream in here, Allison. Don't be afraid. I'm going to ask you a question. Have you hit the like and subscribe button? Yeah, I mean, Wings Hauser was literally the definition of a working actor. I mean, he worked from probably the late '70s to probably recently until he died. Um, I mean, he was like the B movie version of Gene Hackman. Even in shitty movies, he was good. You know, I first became aware of Wings Hauser in Vice Squad, and then I believe he directed uh, or co-directed, co-produced Uncommon Valor with Gene Hackman. So there always is a police chase in LA. Well, you know, you always need character actors. I mean, yes, you're going to always need a superstar like Tom Cruise to play the lead, you know, but if you look at, say, Top Gun, yes, Tom Cruise was awesome in that movie. But really, the movie to me was made by guys like Tom Skerritt and Michael Ironside. Oh, what was her question? I didn't see it. Um, oh, yes, yesterday, I believe. I mean, they arrested the one guy, the skinny guy. I'm gonna guess they seem to be, from what I recall, taking the older guy's side. You know, I mean, they don't fuck around in West Hollywood with crime. Um, you know, and there's, you know, although, yeah, I don't know, Lieutenant Tabasco. Did you ever watch Sledgehammer? Not really. What did who do, Allison? I'm sorry. Let me go back and see your question here. Oh, thank you, Allison, for subscribing. Oh, what happened yesterday with the police chase? I was watching it. Sorry about that, Allison. Um, from what I could tell, I would guess the skinny blonde guy they put in the police car probably hit um, the older gentleman because they did not take away the older gentleman. They were talking with the older gentleman. They were smiling and laughing. They were not smiling and laughing with the blonde guy. So I would guess I'm going to guess the young guy was on drugs and he attacked his lover or partner, roommate, whatever, whoever it was. Sorry, Allison, I don't have the best vision. So when I get these, yes, thank you, High Protege. Um, so when I get all these streams in a row, sometimes I do um, miss a question or whatever. I mean, I'm guessing on that one. I just the way I mean, they weren't taking the guy away. I mean, they took him away in cuffs, but they weren't like manhandling him. So I'm sure, um, I mean, I've seen so many of those in this neighborhood. There's a lot of domestic violence in my neighborhood. Peter Chicken Man Brennan, you surprised Steve O and Schaub stopped doing comedy? Well, in Steve O's case, he never really did comedy. He was a storyteller. And I will say, the one time I put Steve O up a potluck, he was really good. Like, he got off exactly at 3 minutes. He, like, apologized to me for running the light. I'm like, bro, you didn't run the light. So he was very, he did what Schaub should have done. Just tell stories. Lesbian couples have the highest rate of domestic violence, and so do gay men. I mean, but I think in my neighborhood anyway, I'm not saying all gay couples do drugs, but there's a lot of drugs in my neighborhood, so there's a lot of domestic violence. Yeah, welcome to Hollywood, Ben Bailey. He's been on the Inappropriate Earl podcast. Yeah, who knows? I mean, gay couples have the same problems the breeders do. Cheating, accusations of it, or actual cheating, drug use and, anger issues and whatnot. Um, so, what are you guys talking about Ben Bailey buying the rights of? I'll go back in the stream. Um, oh, Reacher. Yeah, I mean, I can't see. See, Allison, thank you for subscribing. I can't see Ben Bailey as Reacher. Um, well, I mean, if you think about it, Schaub could tell these. Schaub could have done what up VIP, what Jake the Snake Roberts does. Jake Roberts is by hands down the greatest storyteller I've ever seen. I opened up for Jake Roberts at the Dojo on La Brea and Sunset, which is now an abandoned restaurant. Man, have I shut down a lot of rooms. And even if you don't like wrestling, he drew you in with his storytelling. Who was the best Bond in your opinion? Well, it's funny, Lieutenant Tabasco. I think when you ask someone, my loaded baked potato was very good, thank you. Yeah, but you know how it works, Zoom. They're not going to book Ben Bailey over Tom Cruise in any condition. I think when you ask someone who the best Bond is, Sober Artie and Jake the Snake, great storytellers, 100%. I mean, Jake the Snake just drew you in. Like, he told a story once about he's on the car with Brutus Beefcake, and Beefcake's crying because he thinks his wife is cheating on him. And I'm shortening up the story, and then they look over to the left, and there goes Brutus Beefcake's wife with Rick Rude. So he put away a lot of blow. That's a fact. But getting back to the James Bond question, I remember when I was dating we did a movie night where she showed me her favorite Bond movie, and I showed her my favorite Bond movie. She showed me Daniel Craig's first Bond movie, and I don't know, the acting was too good. Like, I was like, it's more closer to Timothy Dalton Bond than anything else. Not very funny, kind of a stoic Bond, which is how Dalton played it. And I showed her Moonraker, which, along with Spy Who Loved Me, is probably my favorite two Bond movies. And she didn't like it at all. She did not like Roger Moore as James Bond. So, to me, my Bond is Roger Moore. But to someone of Chandler's age, like, what is Chandler now? 32 or whatever she is. She's a Daniel Craig girl. And then you look at the people who are older than me, so in their 60s, they're probably going to be Sean Connery people. I don't think too many people name Pierce Brosnan as their Bond, but I'm sure there's a few. I even liked, my second favorite Bond is Timothy Dalton. I liked how he played a darker Bond. I mean, it was an interesting change between the slapstickness of Roger Moore to have a Bond bent on revenge. Peter Chickenman Brennan Sober Joey Diaz is a great storyteller. Um, yeah, I mean, I thought Moonraker almost was a little too slapstickish. I would have never made Jaws a good guy. I liked Jaws much better in The Spy Who Loved Me. I love Spy Who Loved Me. I mean, Kurt Jurgens played a great villain in Stromberg. Uh, I don't know. I mean, I know a couple years ago I thought the new Bond was going to be Idris Elba, but now they say he's too old, which is crazy. I mean, the guy's in his what, late 40s. Um, so, well, I mean, Joey's just had so many life experiences. Has, like a Jake the Snake Roberts has. I mean, Roddy Piper was an amazing storyteller. Uh, but I mean, I think at the end, they had him, with the blonde girl with the big tits, and it was funny to hear him go, "Here's to us, baby." But he was just such a good bad guy in that first one. He was even kind of slapsticky in The Spy Who Loved Me, but it was funny that nothing could kill him. And I believe they were going to bring him back for another Bond. I'm not sure which one, but I mean, what was after Moonraker? There was that the one with Lynn Holly Johnson where she's the ice skater, um, Octopussy, View to a Kill. What was the one with the French girl? I think it was um, the one after Moonraker, like 1981. Zoom, help me out here. Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want the blonde girl with the glasses? Yeah, it would have been cool to have a black James Bond. Um, but I guess you could you could bring Jaws back in the new James Bond. It'd just be a different, giant guy. Uh, I like the episode with yeah, For Your Eyes Only. Thank you very much. I mean, that's kind of a weird Bond. I didn't really love it. Didn't hate it. I mean, that girl, the French girl, was beautiful. But I'm a big Lynn Holly Johnson fan. Um, I mean, it didn't really paint Vader in a great light. I mean, he was incredibly stiff in the ring. Um, I'm trying to think who would be like. I've always fancied myself a casting director. If they were casting me or the casting, if I was the casting director of the next James Bond movie, and they said, "Hey, we're thinking about bringing Jaws back." Lynn Holly Johnson was beautiful. I mean, wow, and Ice Capades with Robbie Benson. I mean, wow. Um, who would I cast as Jaws? Well, you need a very tall actor. It would probably be a pro wrestler. Maybe Big Bill, but he'd probably have to cut his hair. Or I guess you could do a wig. I'm trying to think who else would be. Maybe a black Jaws. Omas would be a great Jaws. No, I would not cast Jaws as La Parka. um, I was telling people in the stream, Chicken Man, about your legendary. It really kind of made me curious as to who you are, but I never want to know who you are. It would ruin the shtick. But your Kenny Tenney reference the other day is an all-time stream moment for me. Um, that's like making the Professor Snape a man. Well, no, I'm just. But I mean, like Omos is legit 7'4", 400 pounds. He's bigger than Richard Keel. Um, Giant Gonzalez. I mean, we're gonna have a hard time getting that guy out. He would have been a good Jaws. But if you don't like a black Jaws, it has to be white. I mean, I would say Kevin Nash, but I'd probably want someone younger. Uh, Satnam Singh. Actually, I'd take him. If you don't want Omos, Satnam Singh, who is the 7'4". He's about 350 pounds. Um, Yeah, Shaq's too famous. I think Satnam Singh, he kind of looks like a bigger version of Richard Keel, but Indian. He'd be a very good Jaws. I mean, I've seen him in person. He is a monster of a man. And he's not fat. He's just a big guy, man. So that would be my casting choice, Satnam Singh. Undertaker, I would want someone a little younger. Um, so I would, you know, I think the problem with the Undertaker is he's too famous. So you'd see Jaws. Let's say he was the Undertaker, or Jaws was the Undertaker. His first scene, you would be like, "Oh, that's the Undertaker." I think what made it work with Richard Keel was, he really didn't have a lot of exposure other than The Longest Yard. So it's like you really thought it was Jaws. And I think Satnam Singh, although he's a famous basketball player and a relatively unknown pro wrestler, he would work the best. Peter Chicken Man Brennan. Kane would be good. Probably a little too old, though. If you had to pick, or the remake doesn't get made, who's the director? Liam, Stevie Lou, or Stud Joe? For James Bond, I would pick Liam because he seems, he's in USC Film School. I mean, clip that, Doom. I think Liam thinks I don't like him. We were at the memorial together of Perry Kurtz, for those of you who are real aficionados of LA comedy. Yes, me and Richard Keel are in the Sandler universe. So Jaws would be Satnam Singh. My James Bond, you know, Batiste isn't big enough. He's a big guy, but Satnam Singh is just more intimidating. I mean, 7'4", 400 pounds, man. Who would be my choice for James Bond? It's a tough one. I would say you probably need someone in your mid-30s. If you stick with you got to probably stick with someone who's British. I don't know. I'll have to get back to you guys on that one. Yeah, I've seen that. I mean, when you look at past James Bonds, I mean, it was believable Sean Connery could kick ass. I mean, Roger Moore, looking back, it's not very believable that Roger Moore could beat up Jaws in a fight. I mean, I know it's a movie. What would be funny is I still like Satnam Singh, but let's say he was unavailable. Bob Sapp. Sap Attack. I mean, Daniel Craig was physically in shape, so it was believable that he could win a fight. I don't know about Pierce Brosnan. In a remake of the A-Team with just stand-up, is Leslie Jones... Are you trying to get me in trouble? With just stand-ups, if I had to remake the A-Team, I would have Andrew Santino in the George Papard role. I would have Matt Rife in the role of Face. And I would play the Dwight Schultz part. Yeah, the Dirk Benedict role would be Matt Rife. I would be Howling Mad Murdoch. And no, I would not have Leslie Jones as Baracus. It's funny. I thought of Jimmy Carr's James Bond. I mean, it's not really believable that Jimmy Carr could beat up Satnam Singh. I mean, I'm trying to think of British actors. It's funny. I was just in a tattoo shop, the same one I saw Judd Nelson at, where the guy from We're the Millers, the young kid from We're the Millers with Jennifer Aniston, was in there. Now, he's pretty slender, but he's a good-looking guy. Got a great British accent. Yeah, Chappelle Lacey is BA. That's a good call. Um, what up, Deb? Henry Cavill, some people say for James Bond, but think he's almost too famous for it now. I mean, who was the guy in Person of Interest? Jim Caviezel, but he might be too old. He's not old to me, but if you're picking the new James Bond, you want them around for the next 3 to 4 films. So that's good. You want to avoid kind of what you had with Roger Moore when I think his last, I think in A View to a Kill, he was like almost 60. So you're gonna want a guy in like the early 30s range. So by the time he's 50, he could bang out 3 to 4 James Bond films. Crazy guy in what? Um, Let me see. It was so nice. We were all outside just talking, and he came up with a bunch of. He's in some new movie. Let me see. What is it? Meet the Millers. Um, Will Poulter was super nice. He's in some movie, but I don't know. Let's see how old he is. Um, English actor, 1993. So he's 32 years old. So he kind of fits like the age range. I don't know if he's big enough. Like, I think Daniel Craig has set the tone for like a body you want in a James Bond. But Godfrey is Mr. T. I would be the Dwight Schultz part. I got to put myself in the movie. Um, Philip Michael Thomas, 75. Damn, man, that's crazy. When I was a kid, we had a bunch of signed pieces of Dwight in the office. Yeah, I mean, I was watching, the A Team, today with the one with Wings Hauser and Marshall Teague, and it kind of hit me, Dwight Schultz's character on the DL was kind of a dark character. He was like almost a comic take of, Rambo was a take on a Vietnam vet who's lost his mind and gone nuts. And I think Howling Mad Murdoch was kind of the humorous version of. You could tell he was a sad guy. You could tell the war had done something to him. I never really had that take before. We'll go for another 2 minutes, guys. I didn't necessarily like A Team the movie. Just um, it didn't capture the charm of the TV show. I mean, the first couple seasons of the A Team was pretty good, but and then they turned it kind of cartoonish, and they added some characters that didn't work. It kind of fucked up the chemistry of the show. Um, Now a bad guy for the next Bond. I mean, John Glover's probably a little too old, but man, I would have loved to have seen John Glover as a bad guy. I think John Glover, there's a very interesting tape of a table read at Jerry Weintraub's house of the Karate Kid, and instead of Martin Kove as Sensei Kreese, John Glover is uh, at the table read doing the role of Sensei Kreese. I could have seen that. I don't know if John Glover did karate. Um, yeah, I mean, the last few episodes, the A Team kind of ended on a whimper. Um, I very much liked the last episode of Miami Vice. I think it tied up the show very, very nicely. Uh, no, he did not call me Monday. But I mean, if you watch some of the older episodes, like of the first couple seasons, where the A Team was a little darker than what it became, Murdoch was clearly. I mean, I'm not trying to read too much into the fucking A Team, but he was a tortured soul, and he used humor to deal with his sadness. Um, Murdoch, I'd say Louis J. if he wasn't Brown, as a bad guy. I mean, yeah, but he's not going to be considered. I'm trying to think. Oh, what if the new James Bond was trans? That'd be wild. Imagine some of the weapons Q could come up with. Hoo! No, I'm going to be Howling Man Murdoch. It's my film. For once, I'm going to be selfish and put myself in the movie. Louis J could be maybe one of the bad guys' henchmen. All right, guy. Wait, Walker. Hey, bro, what's up? Nice seeing you like this, man. Wait, what? Walker, are you trolling me? What? Yeah, but he's not big enough. He doesn't act. So that was one of the great things when that Ping Dang thing happened, and people were like, Tony's going to get canceled. It's like, what are you going to cancel him from? He doesn't act. Peter Chicken Man, Brendan, what if Jeff Garland blocks you from remakes after hearing you on MLC with Bichetti? I didn't say, oh, yeah, 100%. Well, then that's the life. Good morning, Big Bones Ben Jones. Well, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, Walker. Hit the like and subscribe button after that thing you just made me read. Matt Rife is the perfect choice for face. All right, Walker, you're bombing in my stream. I can't have that. You got one more chance to be funny, then I got to put you in 24-hour timeout. EA Sports, it's in the game. This is CNN. All right, guys. Walker's depressing me. It's a good time to end the stream. 0 for 2. I'm going to watch the reunion of Sam Rosen and John Davidson on the hockey broadcast. No problem. No problem. James Earl Skakel Jones. Well, Calrissian, did he survive? Don't be too proud of this technological terror. The power of this battle station is insignificant to the power of the Force. Yeah, no problem, Lieutenant Tabasco. The TV just came on, so that's a good time to end the stream. Earl Skakel in the Earlverse. I'm going to try and see if the numbers don't improve. I'm going to try and do this stream around 5 p.m. my time, just to see if a regular time, all too easy. Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father. So I'm going to try and James Earl Skakel Jones. Let's hit the like and subscribe button on your way out. If you could share my newest short, awesome. If not, I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.